Welcome back to TV5 News at 9, friends. It's design time. Make sure you get your cell phones out because you have a QR code coming right there on your screen, and you can scan that for more information about today's topic. Kathy is here. Kathy Kilborn from Tri-City Furniture. How are you, Kathy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. So I'm hearing that you're just getting back from the International Furniture Market, right?
Yes.
So what's going on now? Are there a lot of new trends, new colors and styles?
With COVID, a lot of those markets were canceled.
Oh, wow.
And we hadn't gone in a couple years. And normally I go 2-3 times a year. So it was exciting to actually be able to get back and to see a renewed spirit in a lot of these manufacturers. It's been a tough 2 years. With production and losing employees. And so talking with a lot of these manufacturers, they're seeing it brighter moving forward.
So they're getting back on track, you're seeing it, and also with colors and
designs. So there were some new trends, and the big trend color of the year was in the greens, and so I pulled a couple of the new ones. I actually got some of the new fabrics right from market. They're pretty ready to get going, but we can see these darker, richer greens, and there's textures. There's just a lot of great colors. Now some of these, like this was a little bit of an older tone, but then these deeper, brighter kind of shades. I didn't see a lot of it, but I saw it. And so we know it's at the beginning of that trend. What I did see is some new accents, which are really trying to bring in multiple colors. And as we're stuck more in our homes, we really want to make our homes a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting. And so we're seeing a lot of color coming back into the market. And so the greens were there, but even more so, we saw the blues, and the blues ran from the deep blues all the way into the spa green blues. So very exciting. We still see elements of green popping in, but these are colors that feel good to us. It's the sky color, the water color, and it feels really good.
It feels relaxing, makes you feel happy. So were there some trends and some new elements in design?
Yes, we're seeing that a lot of sofas, the actual sofa isn't changing, like they didn't make a taller back or whatever, but the details were really drastically changing. There was much more interesting arm styles. They added a lot of tack designs and some new hammered larger, and they'll put them on arms, they'll put them around the front. So detail has become the newness, and I thought for a while furniture was getting kind of boring because it just was plain and there wasn't a lot, and in the last 2 years it was get it out the door as fast as we can. But now they're coming back with more detail, and I think that back in the 60s and 70s before imports, these were a lot of those details they're bringing them back to the market, and they're much more exciting and fun to have more interest in the furniture piece itself.
And I'm sure you've piqued so many people's interest out there. When are these going to be available, these new pieces?
Well, this market, I probably bought more than I've ever in the past, partly because these manufacturers are ready. They're excited to have you bring in some of the new looks. And so a lot of this stuff is coming, but it's probably going to be at least 8 to 12 weeks before it starts arriving on the floors because they have to make it. And manufacturers have speeded up. I had some American guys taking 11 months. They're moved up to about 6 months. I've had other ones that were 6 and 7 months. They're moved up to about 90 days. So they're speeding up, they're catching up. They've finally got people in place and trained. We don't want to have them just sending out things and then the people don't know what they're doing. So it takes a while, but they're really seeing the movement forward, that things are getting better in this industry.
Anything else interesting you want to tell us about the new trends or designs or styles
Well,
out there?
it's just that color is probably more prevalent, and did see a lot of white sofas. Now, we had gone away from being the white, and the color of the wall was white. Okay, but now I've seen that it actually is kind of switching. So we're seeing the neutral sofa and a blue wall or a green wall. We're seeing color put back on a wall to give it more intense color. And then that way we can add maybe an accent chair, the recliner, some fun pillows to add in some of that extra color and print. So some of these that mix it up, they look beautiful. You might even consider putting it on a blue sofa because we know that the colors and the textures help hide soiling. And when we're home all the time, the kids are there. That's an important factor today. So there's lots of ways to maneuver through these colors, but I will say color is definitely on the horizon. And I'm glad. I think neutrals have gotten pretty boring. If you had a pretty gray room, it could be kind of boring after we've been in our house so long.
And I love a white sofa, but when you said that and I thought about my kids, my eyes got really big. No, that would not be the color.
Well, keep in mind, the new fabrics can be cleaned with bleach. So they're pretty cleanable. The thing that I don't like is you have to maintain it. So if I have blue, you don't kind of see where the dog lays.
There you go.
So that might be the reason that you would go here as compared to white. But it is very important to consider how you live. White is beautiful, and I enjoyed, seeing all that, and it was bright and cheery. And then I look at it in real life, maybe not so much. But again, there's so many great options. There's lighter blues and spa blues and all sorts of variable colors. So really great choices.
It's really an exciting time buying furniture right now and getting
it probably is the best I've seen in 4 to 5 years.
Wow.
And going through COVID, it's been very stressful for this industry. They were not prepared for all the impact. American furniture is not stockpiled. It is built when it's ordered. So if I put an order in, then that's when they build it. Different than an import. Imports are boatloads of stuff coming into a warehouse and then they just ship it out one at a time. But you can't customize that. So when COVID happened, these manufacturers were not prepared. If they had known, they probably would have ordered more raw materials to be ready. But no one knew what was going to happen. And so finally, they are catching up. But we still need to be patient. And it is still very stressful for them to keep things going. But we are getting trucks in now every day, and it is really exciting that things are moving.
We love to hear about all the pizzazz now in furniture design. Thank you, Kathy, for
this
information. And if you would like to come and see some of these new trends, colors, and styles, just head on down to Tri-City Furniture here in Auburn, and Kathy and her team can make sure you know everything, that you're up to date. Thank you for watching this edition of Design Time.
And now your first Horn 5 forecast, certified most accurate by Weather Rate.
All right, a good Thursday morning. We're almost to Friday and a little bit of rain out there this morning. Still a few more showers possible as we go throughout the later morning, but trends are going to be for us to see some sunshine today. Here's a look at what we track for you over the next several days. It's also going to be a breezy day today, especially as we get into this afternoon. Looks like we do have some more rain chances. It looks like the next best chance comes in Friday evening. That could come with a few thunderstorms, but weekend still trending warm. We're talking well above average. It looks like we have a run near the 70s Saturday and Sunday. Pinpoint Doppler, let's get your forecast going this morning from MBS. You can see just got a few lingering showers, mainly throughout the thumb right now into Genesee, Lapeer County, Tuscola, Huron, and Sand Lake counties. Pretty much just seeing the bulk of the rain at the moment, but it's the tail end of this rain. It's continuing to all move off towards the east near Toronto, and on the other side of Lake Michigan, not a whole lot going on. Looks like we tap into a much drier air mass. That means we're going to be talking about less clouds, and looks like we get some more sun with temperatures a little bit warmer today. So overall, not too bad of a Thursday setting up as we cross lunchtime. But for the rest of this morning, still could have a few lingering showers, especially the further east you go, closer to the immediate lake shore as we go through about 10, 11 o'clock. But once we get past lunchtime into the afternoon, there it is. I think we all tap into a decent amount of sunshine by, there it is, around 3, 4 o'clock. And we'll continue with that trend even as we go into the early evening tonight. Looks like we keep it mainly dry as we go into the overnight period. There it is right around 10, 11 into midnight. Mostly clear skies. Should take us into the beginning of our Friday. There could be a few clouds in the mix as we start off Friday morning. But overall, looks like we'll keep it dry, at least for the first half of the day. We're always tracking the next system, and it looks like it's going to be on our heels as early as Friday afternoon. We're going to have to watch some rain developing closer to Grand Rapids as we get into the afternoon on Friday. That system going to be fighting a little bit of dry air, so I think it's going to take a little bit longer for the rain to reach us, but it looks like better rain chances will return as we get closer to Friday evening, overnight, and then again into the day on Saturday. It's going to be a little breezy today. We're talking about your winds. Here it is, mainly from the south and west. We'll keep gusts peaking near 30 miles per hour. I think the strongest winds will come as we get into the afternoon, but not going to be lasting too long. Looks like winds will finally start to subside once we get later into the evening hours, overnight period tonight. Temperatures, we're mild today. Check out your numbers. We got 60s for our southern communities. The thumb just a little bit cooler near the lake shore, upper 50s, lower 60s there. Tri-Cities, our western counties, will keep it into the low to mid 60s by this afternoon. Starting to dry things out by the afternoon with a little bit more sunshine. Upper 50s, lower 60s, our northwestern counties there. And last but not least, as we go north of the Saginaw Bay, we'll have temperatures pretty much close to 60 as we get into the afternoon. Overall, not a bad Thursday. Here we go into the next 7. Earth Day tomorrow. We've got some more rain and even a few thunderstorm chances late Friday into Saturday, Sunday into Monday. Temperatures for the weekend, 70s. Enjoy. 40s return next week. Blake, back to you.
All right, it's beautiful, John. Thank you so much. Well, that music means it is time to introduce you to the TV5 Pet of the Day. Let's meet Bacon. This sweet little pup is only 13 weeks old. He's a lab cattle dog mix and a happy, energetic, and smart puppy. If you'd like to bring the Bacon home with you, I love that. We'll have that information on our website, WNEM.com. Literally, you could bring home the bacon. All right, Wyatt's law passed in the state Senate. We break down that law and how soon it could be put in place. Details coming up. And Fast and Furious fans are learning about the new upcoming film in the franchise. We'll have those details later in a Hollywood Minute. But first, some tips to help you squeeze the most miles out of a tank of gas in today's Money Matters.
Gas prices have been falling from recent highs, but they're still well above year-ago levels. Consumer Reports has tips to help you squeeze the most miles out of a tank. Now, for starters, watch your speed and drive smoothly. Your driving habits can have a big impact on your fuel economy. A recent test by Consumer Reports found big gains in your average miles per gallon based on your steady speed and depending on the car you drive. Driving evenly and avoiding bursts of acceleration or braking also helps with gas mileage. And consolidating your errands and other activities is another way to cut down on driving and get the most from a tank of gas. Use app and websites like Gas Buddy to find the cheapest gas. Warehouse stores like Costco, a Sam's Club, and BJ's tend to have better prices than many other fueling stations. And remove roof racks when they're not being used to cut down on aerodynamic drag. Also check your tire pressure to make sure tires are inflated to the recommended levels. For more on how to maximize your gas mileage, check out the full story at consumerreports.org.
Right now, a judge just ruled Ethan Crumbley will remain in an Oakland County jail. This came during his court appearance this morning. The teenager is accused of killing 4 and injuring 7 others during the Oxford school shooting. A tentative trial date has been set for September 6th. Stick with us for complete coverage. And a well-known Michigan problem, bumpy and pothole-filled roads. But the problem seemingly is worse in Bay City. Hundreds of miles of streets there are rated poor, but residents now have a way to see which streets are the worst before leaving home. Fixing crumbling roads was a key point during Governor Whitmer's campaign and why she allocated more than $300 million for road and bridge repair. To help keep track of the repairs, Bay City residents now have access to a new interactive dashboard map. The dashboard will allow the public to click on a segment of city streets to see its ratings and conditions. The Pavement Surface Evaluation Rating, or PACER, shows 69% of the roads in Bay City are in poor condition, 16% are rated fair, and only 13% are good. Residents say the dashboard is at least a start.
I'm finally glad to see that they're finally starting to put some work into our roads and to make them more better for smooth driving and safe conditions.
Well, Bay City Department of Public Works says the streets are evaluated by a team every 3 years as part of a road system management plan. Ratings will be used to determine what kind of repairs and projects would be best. To the pandemic now, the Department of Justice moving to reinstate the transportation mask mandate at the request of the CDC, setting the country up for a legal showdown. Errol Barnett is at Reagan National Airport with the latest.
For travelers who are immunocompromised or with young, unvaccinated children, the maskless reality is a new and frightening challenge. Brian Vastag traveled to Alaska for treatment for his autoimmune disorders. The mandate was lifted. Now he feels stranded.
It's been extremely stressful and frustrating, anger-provoking.
Also fearful of flying home.
We travel for medical care all the time, especially people with rare diseases or hard to treat diseases. It's going to be riskier for us.
Was this policy ended too soon?
No question about it.
CBS medical consultant Dr. David Agus says even though aircraft have exceptional air circulation filtered every 2 to 3 minutes, travelers with suppressed immune systems are still especially vulnerable.
Those people will have more of a difficulty going out in public with the potential of being exposed. They can get very ill.
New polling finds more than half of Americans support mask requirements for travel. Bus transport poses the highest risks for COVID exposure.
I don't think we should have an option. I think while it's still on, it's still not safe.
Followed by train travel.
I would feel more comfortable if there still was a mandate.
The decision by the Department of Justice to appeal the ruling that struck down the mandate came after the CDC concluded the mask extension remains necessary.
To be clear, we are recommending everyone wear masks on planes.
That's now the decision many parents traveling with young children must make as COVID cases continue to rise, even though hospitalizations and deaths are down.
You can minimize it. Put the child, on the inside window seat and you sit and you try to buffer them from people around them, but it's certainly not perfect.
Also new Wednesday, the FAA says its COVID-era zero-tolerance policy for unruly passengers is permanent. The agency saying that fines, which have been as high as $80,000 in some cases and totaled more than $2 million this year, help reduce the incident rate by 60%. Behaving dangerously on a plane, it says, will still cost you. Errol Barnett, CBS News at Reagan National Airport.
And today, the Genesee Health Plan is set to host a drive-through vaccine event in an effort to keep community members safe and healthy. It takes place from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Genesee Health Plan building on Linden Road in Flint. Just roll down your window and roll up your sleeve to receive a COVID-19 vaccine. Free COVID-19 at-home testing kits will be provided too. Narcan basic training will also be available to show you how to identify an opioid overdose and safely administer the reversal drug. Across Michigan, as bird flu spreads, state wildlife officials are asking you to temporarily remove any bird feeders in hopes to reduce the spread of the deadly disease. The Department of Natural Resources says with more birds migrating back to Michigan, this could help keep the disease from spreading to chicken and poultry. But if you want to keep using your bird feeder, the DNR asks you thoroughly clean it with a diluted bleach solution and rinse it once a week. And clean up bird seed on the ground to keep other animals away. And they ask to not feed wild birds, especially waterfowl, near domestic flocks. Well, a bill that would create a registry of child abusers has been passed with a unanimous vote by the state Senate. Now it's heading to the governor's desk. The mother behind the bill, called Wyatt's Law, says it could be a game changer. She talked to TV5 moments after the Senate's approval. Wyatt's Law is named after Erica Hamill's 9-year-old son. He was abused as a baby by Hamill's ex-husband's girlfriend. Wyatt now has permanent brain damage, periodic seizures and migraines, and is blind in his left eye. Hamill says Wyatt's abuser was convicted of child abuse twice before the incident with Wyatt. She tried finding information online about that woman, but there wasn't anything about child abuse convictions.
This package of bills will not only identify publicly the people that have been convicted of serious child abuse, but it will also help the people that have been on the central registry for very, very minor things like, falling asleep and your child walks out the front door. So they shouldn't be punished for the rest of their lives for that. So that it'll expunge them from this list.
Hamill says Wyatt's abuser was released from prison after serving half her sentence, and that's why having Wyatt's Law is so important for children. TV5 emailed the governor's office to see if she would sign off on the bill. In a statement, Whitmer's office says it will closely review the final legislation, quote, to make sure it puts parents and children first. Well, a 9-year-old girl is wowing martial arts fans by already proving her skills as a top athlete. In your can't miss moment, her story of mastering Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and how she's already competing at an international level. And investigators take action against the production company behind the film Rust. That's where a crew member was fatally shot. We have those details still ahead when TV5 News at 9 returns. So one of the top martial artists in her sport weighs just 64 pounds and hails from Rhode Island. A 9-year-old girl is turning heads around the world for her early mastery of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Jennifer Egan has her amazing story.
Put this foot on the leg, drop down.
Sufina Grajo practices takedowns for her next Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. At 64 pounds, she may not look too intimidating, but when you watch her fight, combate. You can see how she is ranked among the best in the world.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm number 15, 18 years and under in the whole world.
Sufina started learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 2 years ago and quickly racked up win after win after win against girls and boys.
She really does really well. I think in the last tournament, she won all of her matches.
Now 9, Sufina, who is from Cumberland, Rhode Island, and practices at Brazilian top team in Taunton, has her sights set on an international competition in Florida this July.
I'm really excited for that because last time I got 3rd place, then the last time I got 2nd place, now I'm trying to go for gold.
She's very athletic, and she's very you teach a position that she really want to learn.
So you go down?
Sufina says she got into this sport so she could defend herself against bullies as she gets older. Now she wants to be number 1 in the world.
I learned that I can be really strong and skillful, and I just feel so good doing it.
What a great story. She's going to get that gold. All right, protecting the environment after life. Coming up next, we will take a look at how funerals are going green. And a new comedy is encouraging moviegoers to watch the film in theaters. We'll have those details coming up in a Hollywood Minute. But first, a look at your local steals and deals. Check it out.
$400 million. That's what Americans spend on gym memberships that we don't use. Now, We've all done it. I didn't join the gym intending to never go, but you know what? My life is busy. I just haven't gotten around to it, and things got crazy, and I was working late, and everything happens, then you never get there, and so you spent money that didn't do you any good. We'd all love to feel better. We'd all like to be in better shape, but we need to be able to do it when we want, where we want, in a small amount of time as we want, right? Gorilla Bow. This is a brand new concept that is head to toe, full body workout, great resistance. And by the way, that's serious resistance. If I had muscles, they'd be working right now. This is a 30-pound resistance band, and there's actually going to be 3 different resistance bands that comes with this. This is really, really strong. Trust me when I tell you. But now the great part is you're saying, you know what? I'm just watching TV. Well, get up while you're watching TV and do 5 minutes of a workout. Do you have 5 extra minutes in the morning? Do you have 5 extra minutes in the afternoon? Maybe you don't have time to schedule a whole long workout. Maybe you just want to start out in small increments, and you can do that. You can use this anywhere, anytime. Take it with you. Use it in your living room. And by the way, it's super quiet. That's another great bonus too. Right now on localsteals.com, these are 30% off. And I don't know about you, but if I can get in better shape when I want, where I want, on my own terms, and it really works, I'm in.
So when we think of protecting the environment, we think of options that we can do while we're alive, like recycling or conserving water. But did you know there are green end-of-life options? Tanya Backus looks at how people choose to protect the environment after life.
She was very strong and put up a really good fight.
Donna Augusto lost her mother to bladder cancer last April.
I knew that she wanted to be cremated and have some of her remains spread with my father's remains.
Instead of a traditional cremation, Donna decided to go with an eco-friendly water cremation, or aquamation. It combines warm water and an alkali solution to decompose the body.
It does not put any emissions into the air.
Phil Barrick is the president of White Rose Aqua Cremation in Escondido, California. He says water cremation uses 90% less energy than flame cremation.
How do people get ashes from this process?
At the end of this process, you still have the bones. The bones are then run through a processing machine that basically turns it into a very fine powder.
Aquamation is just one approach to environmentally friendly burials. Some people want to give directly to the earth by turning their body into compost.
What body composting is a managed biological process that occurs inside of a vessel.
Seth Vidal is the manager of the Natural Funeral in Lafayette, Colorado. Colorado, Oregon, and Washington are the 3 states where body composting is legal. The funeral home built a chrysalis composting vessel that turns remains into soil.
And inside that vessel, we place wood chips, alfalfa, straw, and then a microbial brew of both bacteria and fungal agents. And over the course of about 4 to 6 months, the body, along with those other organic bulking agents, are converted into a beautiful, rich, living soil.
The soil is then given to the family or donated to sanctioned farms. Vidal says most of his clients want to give back to the earth as their final act, a way to protect the environment after life. Danya Backus, CBS News, Escondido, California.
All right, very interesting. Aquamation is now legal in at least 20 states. All right, let's go outside and take a live look over Mount Pleasant right there. And we got a little good soaking this morning, John. What's later today looking like?
Well, it looks like we finally get to say goodbye to some of those clouds. I think we get some sunshine as we get into the afternoon, but we did have that rain this morning, so there still could be some wet roads if you're going to be traveling anywhere for the rest of this morning. Let's get to your hour-by-hour forecast. There still could be a few lingering showers the further east you go, closer to the thumb, the immediate lakeshore, but once we cross lunchtime into the afternoon, I think we start to clear things out. We get some sunshine in for the afternoon. Here it is right around 3-4 o'clock into the afternoon and early evening, still looking good there too. As we go into the overnight period tonight, we'll keep it mainly dry still, mostly clear skies looking good. A good mix of sun and clouds should start us off Friday morning. I think we'll keep it dry. It's going to be a slow increase in the cloud cover as we get into the afternoon. You can see a system off to the south and west will be approaching. It looks like the better rain chances for us are going to be holding off until we get later into the evening hours and then overnight into early Saturday morning. That could come with possibly a few thunderstorms in the mix as well. Winds also going to be another topic of discussion today. We're going to be a little bit breezy, mainly from the south and west. Looking pink numbers are going to be right there as we go into the afternoon. We could have gusts near 30+ miles per hour. The good news is it doesn't stick around too long, starting to subside those winds later tonight. 50s to the north, we're talking 60s south. We've got the sunshine by the afternoon. That's all looking good there. 7-day forecast. We got the rain chances again Friday into Saturday. It looks like we get another decent chance Sunday afternoon into Monday. Enjoy the 70s over the weekend. Looks like we're back near average, but 40s Tuesday, Wednesday. Blake, back to you.
All right. Everything that goes up must come down eventually, right? Thank you, John. In entertainment news, we're learning new details about the next Fast and Furious film, and some moviegoers will get a special deal as they return to the theaters. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
I never thought about the wild missions we've been on.
The next Fast and Furious movie is going Roman, and I don't mean Tyrese Gibson's character. Vin Diesel revealed on Instagram the title of the 10th film in the franchise is Fast X. It's due in theaters May 19th, 2023. A state investigation has found the Rust movie crew willfully violated safety rules on the New Mexico set last October when actor Alec Baldwin fatally shot cinematographer Helena Hutchins. The report says the film's production management team knew gun safety procedures were not being followed, and the crew, quote, demonstrated plain indifference to employee safety. The state has fined the production company nearly $137,000, the maximum allowed by state law.
I can explain. I'm shaken. It's the shock.
Shock, yes, I'm shocked. There's a stolen masterpiece in my wardrobe.
The Duke, starring Jim Broadbent and Helen Mirren, is based on the true story of a taxi driver who stole a Goya portrait from the National Gallery in London. Angelica Film Center theaters are offering 2-for-1 tickets starting Friday as part of the Bring a Friend Back to the Movies campaign. Info at Angelica with a K, filmcenter.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, pizza lovers now have a new option for breakfast. The new morning pies that's not left over from the night before. Details coming up.